Dandy's World had a huge growth by the end of 2024, and especially during the Christmas time and January. But after that, it looks like the growth of the player base has plateaued. While the new Easter event kept the game up in the sky again, it didn't feel as big as back in the Christmas event. What happened? Well, there are a couple of things going on here. We will take them one by one and then we will check what could happen to the game in the future. Buckle in, since we are gonna go through something you won't see discussed anywhere else at the moment. We are gonna go over 6 reasons. The first one is repetitive gameplay loop. Players criticize Dandy's World for its repetitive mechanics, running floors, extracting ichor and avoiding twisties. The game has a lack of variety, especially compared to other Roblox horror games like Doors, which offers diverse entities and puzzles. New players are drawn in by the cute horror aesthetic, but veterans churn out when gameplay feels grindy, reducing long-term retention. The Easter update added new tunes and twisties, but it didn't overhaul core mechanics, failing to rekindle excitement as the Christmas event did. There have been Reddit threads noting players quitting the game due to samey feeling flaws, with some preferring scarier games like Pilar Chase 2. This sentiment questions the game's staying power. Second reason is toxic community behavior. The Dandy's World community has a reputation for toxicity, particularly in public servers and Discord. Reddit discussions describe gatekeeping, harassment over toon choices, and so-called toonism, which is called discrimination based on character picks. There's also shipping drama that also alienates players. Toxic interactions do deter new and casual players, and it does shrink the player base. The Dandy's World community can be a mess. And reason 3, it's not scary enough. Let's be real, Dandy's World is cute horror. Toons like Sprout are adorable and there's no jump scares. It's great for very young players, but for us 13 plus horror fans, it's too soft. Games like Dead Rails, shout out to my other channel by the way, or Pilar Chase 2 are bringing the real scares. Dead Rails has you fighting zombies in a creepy Wild West, and Pilar Chase 2, Baldi is chasing you, and that's a nightmare fuel. If you want chills, you're probably jumping the ship. Reason 4. The lore is too thin. The lore has got potential, there's Dandy's tapes, garden views, creepy backstory, but it's not deep enough. Compared to FNAF Mimic, or any FNAF game or Poppy Playtime, where fans like me make hour-long theory videos about it, Dandy's World story feels like a teaser. Updates add tunes, not plot twists. I wanna know why Dandy is collecting those tapes, but the game's not giving us enough to chew on. That's a problem when lore nerds like us are begging for more. Reason 5. Too many horror games stealing the spotlight. Roblox horrors a crowded party. Rainbow Friends, Picky, they are all fighting for your clicks. Dandy's World's art style was unique at first, but now it feels like another mascot horror clone. Newer games like Dead Rails are blowing up, and Doors keeps players hooked with crazy replayability. It has been discussed that Dandy's World won't last long. When every other game's dropping bangers, it's hard to stand out. And final reason 6. Updates are not hitting hard enough. Blunt Scrunch Studio is trying, but their small team can't keep up. The Christmas event was huge, new content, big vibes. Easter, yeah, it's okay, but you know, new tunes are cool, but we need some game changers. Not just cosmetics. Plus, some old drama with the devs left a bad taste. So, is Dandy's World doomed? What's next for Dandy's World? Well, Dandy's World is not doomed yet, but it's at a crossroads. Here's what could save it, or sink it. First, the devs need to spice up gameplay. Add new game modes, like a boss fight or puzzle floors, to keep things fresh. Doors does this with Blackout events and it works. Second, they gotta crack down on toxicity. Some kind of solo mode could help. And third, lean into the lore. Give us a big story update. Maybe a dandy boss fight or a Garden View flashback. That would get me hyped for theory videos. And please, drop updates faster. If Dead Rails can keep players hooked, so can Dandy's World. On the flip side, if nothing changes, it's rough. Pilar Chase 2 and Dead Rails are eating Dandy's World's lunch, and players might ditch it for good. The game is still in alpha, so there's some hope, but the clock's ticking, I'm rooting for it because those tunes are my content, so it's within my interest to also keep the game alive. Alright, let's take a step back and let's get real for a second. Dandy's World is not the first horror game to hit the wall. So what can it learn from the OGs and the new kids on the block? Let's talk about some horror games that nailed it and some that flopped, to see what Dandy's World needs to stay alive. This is the kind of behind the scenes look you won't get from just running floors, so stick with me. Take Doors, the king of Roblox horror. That game has been driving since 2022 and you know why? It's got variety. Every door is a new challenge, with entities like Rush keeping you on edge, plus their blackout events and collabs like that pressure crossover keep players hyped. Dandy's World could take a page here, mix up the floors with random events or maybe a crossover with say Poppy Playtime Forever. Imagine Huggy Wuggy as a Twisted. Yo, I would play that in a heartbeat, and I would cover it on my new Poppy Playtime FNAF horror channel, just saying. Now look at Piggy. It was huge in 2020, but it faded hard. Why? It leaned too much on the same chase formula. An update slowed down. Sounds familiar? Piggy didn't evolve fast enough, and players jumped to Rainbow Friends. Dandy's World got that same risk. Those tune chases are cute, but if Lunch Crunch doesn't drop new mechanics, it's gonna be Piggy 2.0. They need to shock us, like a Dandy betrayal plot or a floor where you play as a Twisted. Just trolling when thinking about it. Then there's Dead Rails. You all know I'm obsessed, check my other channel. That game's blowing up in 2025 because it's got the story, survival and straight up terror. You're not just running, you're scavenging. Fighting zombies, dodging werewolves, it's got that Walking Dead vibe Dandy's World could borrow. Maybe add a survival mode where you craft items to fend off Twisteds. That would keep me grinding way longer than another Sprout skin. But here's the kicker, Roblox Horror's brutal arena. Games like Pillar Chase 2 are stealing Dandy's World's thunder with scarier vibes. Baldi is chasing you, Nightmare City. Dandy's World needs to decide, stay kid friendly or go darker to compete. I'm betting they stick with the cute horror, but they gotta take risks like these other games. Throw in a wild card like a FNAF style security camera mode and watch the community lose it. In a good way. So what's the lesson? Dandy's World can't just coast on its alpha status. Well, I will be here making 2 videos, but it will be a rough ride. And that's the tea on why Dandy's World struggling. What do you think? Can the devs turn it around or is the game over? Drop your thoughts in comments because I read every single one. If you are obsessed with horror as me, check out my Deadass channel for some zombie slaying action. And yo!